Move two slide elbows together so that their edges meet and the holes are aligned. Attach through each hole with a pan bolt and a lock nut. Make sure the lock nut is on the side with the octagonal opening. Then tighten. Repeat to complete the assembly of the slide elbow section using a total of 8 pan bolts. Assemble 3 more elbow sections in the same manner. If the edges of the slide pieces don't quite match up, it helps to lay them in the sun for a while to make them more pliable. Now move the extend flange RT and extend flange LT together so that their holes align. Attach them with 9 pan bolts and lock nuts. Once again, make sure the lock nuts are on the side with the octagonal opening and the pan bolts are on the side with the round recessed opening. Next, attach the slide exit top to the remaining slide elbow with 8 pan bolts. This will create the elbow exit assembly. With some help, place the flange assembly into the top opening on the end wall of the fort. Make sure it fits snugly into the opening. Then, from inside, pre-drill pilot holes through the 4 holes along the bottom edge of the flange assembly. Make sure the holes are at least an inch deep. Attach the bottom edge of the flange assembly to the fort using 4 pan screws with screw bezels. Use 4 more pan screws with screw bezels to attach the top edge of the flange assembly to the fort. Then use 5 pan screws to attach each side of the flange assembly to the panels on both sides. Next, on the outside of the fort, place the SL gusset under the flange assembly. Check to make sure the top of the SL gusset is flush with the top of the board over the lower opening. Then attach the SL gusset to the bottom of the flange assembly with 2 pan screws. Pre-drill through the hole at the fort end of the SL gusset. Then use a wafer lag to attach it to the fort. With some assistance, position one end of an elbow assembly against the opening in the flange assembly. Rotate the elbow assembly until the arrows are aligned. Then place a slide clamp ring over the top. Attach it with 3 pan bolts. Next, place another slide clamp ring underneath the joined assemblies. Use 3 pan bolts to secure it in place. Use the Quadrex driver to align the holes where necessary. Then connect the slide clamp rings together with a pan bolt at each end. If the clamp rings are too far apart, use a longer bolt to connect them. Once the pieces are tight, replace the longer bolt with the proper one. When you're sure the assemblies are aligned, tighten all of the bolts. Connect a second elbow assembly together in the same manner, checking to ensure the arrows are aligned. Hammer a T-nut into the hole along the edge of the TNR upright. Position the TNR ground brace so that the holes in the 2 boards align. Then connect them using a hex bolt. Use a square to ensure the boards are at a 90-degree angle. Then insert a screw in the bottom hole. Attach the 2 remaining elbow assemblies. Then position the end of the TNR brace assembly against the post just behind the slide. On the 4th elbow assembly, remove the pan bolt closest to the fort. Attach the bent end of the TNR tube support to the clamp ring using the pan bolt provided, along with the original lock nut. Attach the other end of the TNR tube support to the post behind the slide. Now remove the hex bolt on the slide clamp ring closest to the end of the TNR upright. Connect the fitted end of the post mount to the TNR upright with the original hex bolt. Then pre-drill through the 2 holes at the other end and attach the post mount to the upright with 2 pan screws. Remove the pan bolt at the bottom of the end post. Then attach the ground brace with 3 wood screws. Next, insert the flanged end of the exit elbow assembly into the slots on the short exit. Make sure the holes are aligned. Then connect the slide parts with 5 pan bolts and tighten. Position the exit end assembly against the last elbow assembly. Once again, you'll be assembling it with 8 hex bolts and slide clamp rings on both the top and bottom. At any time during the slide assembly, the Quadrex driver is ideal for making adjustments to the alignment of slide parts and clamp rings. If you have trouble connecting the exit on the slide, use an object to elevate the base of the fort temporarily so that you'll have some room to work. When the exit elbow assembly is aligned properly, Tighten all of the bolts, and your slide assembly is done.